Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 3, episode 15, and this is part 2. Yes, part 2 with my international guest. Yes, we are coming live from Norway, Bergen, Norway, as a matter of fact. And part 1, if you haven't listened to part 1, it's on all platforms now. We released it a few days before, and this will be part 2. And so my international guest is my brother, Remi Melbraten. And we are coming live, like I said, from Bergen, Norway. So, Remi, welcome back for part
Thanks,
2.
man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And me and Remi spoke during the break, and he speaks. He doesn't speak English a lot normally. He's lives in Norway. Of course, that's not going to be what they're speaking normally. But he's doing great. I thought he killed it, and I think it's really awesome how they're so smart, because over here it doesn't happen a lot, to be bilingual and to be able to talk both languages or multiple languages. So it's pretty cool, man. And you're doing great at it.
Thanks, man. I read somewhere that only about 5% of Americans speak a second language, and that's Spanish for the most part, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Spanish is taking over so big. With my new job, I manage a bunch of Hispanic contractors and workers, and I have to use translation devices. I can do basic Spanish with them. We'll talk, and then I'll kind of, I'll have an app where I can either talk into it or type it out, and it works. And they respect me for trying, and they try with me because some of them can't even speak English. So but they're very talented, and they're very interesting people with they'll try to teach you about their culture as well, or how they do things. And I've mentioned before on this season, one of my contractors brought me some Jumex, which is like Mexican sodas and juice drinks, where they're actually kind of made with like nectar and different ingredients. So it's really cool to kind of learn about their culture. But yeah, over here, it's just not something very common. And so when someone is able to speak multiple languages, I think it really blows people's minds.
I got you.
Yeah, so if you were over here and you were able to speak multiple languages, I think people would be like, "Whoa, this is wild." So so it'd be pretty cool.
Most Scandinavian languages are a lot alike. So most Norwegian speaks also Swedish and Danish, and of course English. And in school, you have to choose a language. You have to learn either French or German.
Okay, what'd you pick?
I had French. Yeah.
French. Do you think that was an interesting language?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I liked it a lot, actually. Yeah.
Now, have you been to all the Scandinavian countries?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably 200 times.
Oh, really?
It's really close, It's just a close drive for the most part, too.
What's your favorite one besides Norway?
Denmark, I think.
Denmark.
Yeah,
Okay.
Copenhagen. Yeah.
Okay. So what's cool to do in Denmark?
What?
What's cool to do in Denmark?
Oh, they're big on beer.
Big on beer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really beer culture. Even during work hours, it's normal to grab some beers for lunch.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So
wow. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't know much about Denmark. I knew it was in Scandinavia, so it's interesting to learn that, and that's cool. That's a random fact. So I want to kind of dive in on this episode. I know that on part 1 we discussed how you and I met. I kind of drilled you with Norwegian questions, Norway questions, which you did great on answering, and we talked about stuff. So I thought in part 2, you could ask me questions. I also wanted to kind of ask some of your favorite things currently and some of the stuff you're enjoying just all around. So I thought we'd dive into that. So what are some questions you may have about America or maybe American culture?
Well, I was hoping I could come visit Kentucky maybe within the next 3 years, hopefully.
Hell yeah. You're always welcome, dude. My house is your house, brother. So always come over, dude. You're always welcome to America and Kentucky.
Yeah, I'll probably rip the Chelsea poster down because.
Oh yeah. Who's your squad?
It's Liverpool, man.
Liverpool. Okay, a lot of Liverpool fans over here, especially even Kentucky.
Really?
If you came over to Kentucky, I would definitely take you to other states. We could probably make a road trip and do some quick stuff because if you came over here, especially for your first time in America, I wouldn't want Kentucky just being the only spot. But I think Louisville would definitely fulfill you in regards of being able to experience a lot and see it. So, but yeah, I'll make sure I put some extra tax in my Chelsea flag so it doesn't get thrown back.
What's the state that surrounds Kentucky?
So we have Indiana, we have
Yeah.
Ohio, we have Missouri, we have West Virginia, and then we have Tennessee, and then we have a couple other states maybe kind of border where we have like the Appalachian Mountains, kind of. So with Kentucky, a lot of people come through us to go to like Michigan or go down to Tennessee, but Ohio and Tennessee are so close. So if you want to leave Louisville, a real quick trip, kind of similar to where you would go to Sweden or Denmark, would be going to like Cincinnati, Ohio, or going to Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And and it's so close, and it's very different. Every state's very different. Every state kind of offers some different, like the way they might do roads or signs or food or way people talk. And but what's cool is the freeway system is so connected. You can kind of go anywhere, and if you came over for like a couple weeks, it could be a case where we hang out in Kentucky for a little bit, but we might make a long road trip to a state and then be able to hit four or five more on the way back, so you can really able to see that and you be able to kind of see different things. But we are kind of a state in Kentucky. We're kind of stuck in the middle, but we're completely surrounded.
It would be really fun to maybe go to Nashville. You used to
Oh
live there,
yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, I lived there. Yeah, I lived there for 4 years, college and Music City, USA. So you would love Nashville, dude. Like seeing everything, and it's like Louisville on steroids. And you would see city stuff, you see the music stuff. It's growing and booming. When I lived in Nashville, it's nowhere near what it was then. Like Nashville was a fun, cool city, but now it's just blown up. It's humongous. And I just went there for my birthday recently, and
Oh.
I just feel like it just keeps getting bigger, it keeps growing. My girlfriend and I went down there, and there's just so many people and so much development. And went to a new music venue, and the new music venue was so cool. And I was like, this wasn't here when I used to live here. So it's like every time you turn around, it's just something new. Do you find that anywhere in Norway, a city that's booming?
Yeah, the capital for sure.
Oslo?
Yeah, it's changing, and it's changing kind of too fast. Population has grown. It used to be about when I was 15, I think it was 400,000, and now
Woo.
now it's 700,000. So it's almost doubled, but uh, the area hasn't grown any larger, so it's just more compact in a way. So we're
Yeah.
setting up a lot of new apartments, a lot of new housing that can house more people, but in the same amount of space, basically. So it's just everything is growing upwards and not, So I'm not a big fan, and I left Oslo specifically because I think it's too many people right now, and
Overpopulated. Yeah.
yeah, and the opportunities are not there. So career wise and stuff like that. It's not a great place if you unless you work in certain fields, so, of course.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful city, but I agree with you. It's like if you can't find your niche there and you can't really find how you can build your career, you gotta branch out, you gotta go other places. And uh would you say over in Norway that is there a lot of colleges and universities?
Well, it's the recent years it's been some more private universities, but everything for the most part are government owned. So a college degree is free for if you unless you choose a private school.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to get in, man. It's really hard to get in. Like my girlfriend, we moved to Bergen because she's in med school,
Okay, that's cool.
and if you want to get into med school here, you need all A's, and even if you get all A's, you're still on a waiting list.
That's wild. I mean, it's like it's so strict, but yeah, but that's a really cool feature that it's free because over here in America right now, that's the big issue is like people being in such debt because of student
Yeah,
loans, and then over here it's so dumb. It's like you go to college and you get in this huge debt, and then you're trying to start your career, and you're just dug in a hole, and you really can't bounce out. And so many couples start in debt, and people, even if they're single, get stuck in a life of debt. And I was very blessed that my grandpa had railroad bonds, and I saved up and I was able to pay off college. But a lot of my friends didn't have that route or that luck. And you just see how people struggle. So that is where socialism is a good thing from regards of, everybody gets kind of benefit, but it's like everybody has to take advantage of in the right way, kind of deal. Like they have
yeah.
to don't waste it, kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, if you're applying for a job where that requires you to clean bathrooms, they want you to have like a 2-year degree from. So
Well, university, like what?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's wild. Like,
So,
oh man, I'm over here scrubbing these toilets, but I studied 2 years of books. Like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think everybody in some way should be educated in something extra. I think education is very important. But another issue over here, I was gonna ask you, the healthcare, America's healthcare system's a fucking joke. I mean, people dying every day, people don't get their medicine, you got to go get checks for stuff, you got insurance, medicine overpriced, premiums. I mean, what is it like over in Norway?
well, I tried to learn the American system. It just seemed really complicated, and I heard about a few instances where people didn't get help because they didn't have insurance. And
Yes.
that's crazy. It's not
Sickening.
like
Sickening. Yeah.
yeah, it's free here, but you have to pay like a small amount every time, up to $200 a year. So
Sign me
say
up, dude. Sign me up.
yeah, so the maximum you pay is like $200 a year for yeah. I think it's $40.
Wow.
$40 per visit to a doctor, and up until $200, and then it's free for the rest of the year.
And see, that's the way it should be over here too, as well. Our healthcare system's such a joke. People are also in debt because of that. People are dying. We have shitty doctors. I mean, it sucks sometimes being American, just from the standpoint of the shit we have to deal with. I mean, we definitely have blessings and positives, of course, but healthcare and politics and stuff, it's almost become a mockery, a joke in a way. But it's like, it's with healthcare over here, you just gotta hope you're okay, or you can pay the bill, kind of deal. I mean, at the end
Yeah,
of the day, and that's why, or you have insurance. So you nailed it on the head. Insurance is key. So that's why people with these jobs nowadays are like, that's the big selling point. Yeah, you might want a certain salary, but you want benefits for not only you but your family.
so you can get that if you are employed. You get it via work.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, when you get hired on at a job, pretty much about 75% of the jobs, probably in America, they offer healthcare with it. So what happens is you get health insurance when you get hired. They call it benefits. So they'll say, "Hey, Eric, I'm going to give you health insurance, but here's the twist. I'm going to give you health insurance. We do health insurance through Humana." Okay. So they'll give me a card and it'll say, I got health insurance, I got dental insurance, and I got vision insurance. But they're taking money out of my paycheck every time to go towards that insurance. But I get it cheaper because I get a job, and also I'm covered and I don't lose that insurance. But if I quit or get fired, that insurance is gone. So that's why a lot of times families and people, they might want to leave a job, or they might want to tell their boss, go fuck yourself. But at the end of the day, they can't, because they can't lose that insurance, and they might have a sick kid, or a disease or cancer. And so it's just one of these cases where it's where health insurance with your job is so important, and you don't, and that's why a lot of basic jobs don't offer it. And that's why people work so hard to get to that level, because paying for insurance out of pocket is like quadruple the price. You can't even afford it, and then you're looking for a fucking job with it, So it's just it's a scheme, it's a pattern.
It
So
sounds like a prison, man. It's unheard of for Scandinavians,
yeah, I mean it is, and and people you hear all the time, and like I said, don't get me wrong, there's positives, there's blessings, but there is a lot of negatives in America. We're lacking in education, lacking in healthcare. Our politics are so mixed up. We're right now inflation's through the roof, and and it's just we are a great country, but for some things, but lately it's just it does get stressful. And you hear about places like Scandinavia, and you see other countries, and and their systems, and it just works. And you hear 4 murders, shit, there's probably been 4 murders in Louisville right now while we record this podcast. That's how fucking crazy it is to think about. Like, seriously, we've recorded since probably 6:45, 6:30, and I bet 4 people have already been shot at 20 minutes from me. And so, and after we get done, I'm gonna go get some food, and shit, I could get shot. It's just, I'm hoping not. I mean, I'm not going those areas, but it's just, it's definitely can be a risk and reward. But again, like I said in part 1, can't live in fear. But yeah, it's a little crazy. So, what's some other questions you got?
Well, yeah, you have elections coming up. I'm pretty sure you have midterms now, and you have a really interesting government system compared to many European countries. We don't even have, like, we have a prime minister, but we don't have a Senate, we don't have a Congress. So it's interesting, watching the U.S. midterms, U.S. elections, and I'm pretty sure Trump is going to run again, I think.
Yeah.
In 2024.
Well, I'll say this with politics. I never talk about politics on Vibing With Sleezy, but I'll do it for you, especially because the international episode, and just because people over here are so divided. And I will say this. Our politics are so different from other places. And like in England, you got parliament, and then other countries have monarchies, and some countries have dictatorships. But at the end of the day, over here in America, we do have a voting system, a justice system. I will say this. The country is so split left and right. You have your liberals, you have your conservatives, which but you also have extremists. You also have people that don't give a fuck. They don't care who wins or who loses. But which is sad, because so many people really need to vote and care, because it's so important, because voting over here is so big. And that's where you brought up Trump, and Trump really threw the country for a loop with his big lie of lying about the votes, saying he won and all that. That really fucked up this country, because misinformation has been such a horrible thing for America, not only online, but misinformation is spread. It don't matter where you vote either. Misinformation is spreaded from both sides, and that's what really blows your mind, is that how much misinformation's out there. And then Trump started telling, oh, the voting was rigged, the voting, COVID, all this stuff. It just, his lies and his mess really fuck shit up. But then the left's not perfect, the right's not perfect. I know I identify more liberal to the left, but at the end of the day, there's things I don't agree with Biden. There's things I don't agree with a lot of people. So there's, politics right now is really messy over here. I just would like a true leader, in my opinion. I would just like a true leader that would unite the nation, everybody be one as an American, world peace, be able to talk, be able to bring people together. I see things from the right that I agree. I see things from the left that I agree with. But at the end of the day, maybe I'm more independent, but it's like at the end of the day, I just feel like our problem in this country is we really need to be one. America needs to be one again. We need to be united. I mean, we are the United States, and we should be for a reason. And everyone should be accepted and open minded. I really feel like everyone should be loving and caring. And the past years, you really see a lot of racism, a lot of hate, a lot of bigotry, a lot of divide, and the divide has been horrible for this country and it's really brought us down. So not to get off my long-winded thing, but I just think politically we're so divided, and I really couldn't tell you right now who I want to run this country again. I don't know if it had to come between Biden and Trump, I probably would say Joe again to see, but there's also things he's struggling. He's also getting very old, and so
Yeah.
it just at the end of the day, it's so divided. And there's things that probably Trump would do well too, but at the end of the day, I kind of would like to see both of them kind of gone, kind of be done with Biden, to be done with Trump, and get a leader that is united and not extreme for both sides. I mean, the extremism is so crazy. And I know that this is probably the most I've ever dove into politics on this show. And if I lost a listener, hey, I don't care. If I gained a listener, I gained a listener. Thank you. But at the end of the day, I'm me and I keep it real. And, you asked a valid question. So that's kind of where our politics are. But to kind of dive into where we're built, we have Congress, we have the House of Representatives, we have our Supreme Court, we have the president, the vice president.
Yeah.
If the president dies over here, the vice president becomes president. The Congress, they get to vote on the laws. The president submits. The House of Representatives are kind of, they represent all the different states, and so it all comes together as one. But that's another thing where it brings up the whole diversion, the divide. Is right now we're really dealing with the situation of, even in those places, Congress, House of Representatives, everybody's divided. They're going at it. People can't agree on one law. And so when you see a bipartisan law come out of one of those places, it blows your fucking mind. Oh my gosh, we agreed. We agreed as Americans, like for the better of the country. And that's where it should be. And in my opinion, if you don't agree with me, fuck you. And if you do agree with me, hey, I love you. But at the end of the day, it's not because I'm being a jerk or a hater. It's just, what I mean by that is, it's like, for anyone listening, it's just like I'm explaining that we really should be united as one. That's my big long-winded thing.
Well, thank you, man. It's insightful for me. I think American politics has become sort of a entertainment for the rest of the world, I think.
Yes. Some
Because
people are in tune as well from internationally as well.
yeah, and like you said, it's you have two parties, and both are showing sort of signs of being extreme right, extreme left, and it's sort of hard to see how they can find middle common ground. And in Norway, we have like 8 or 9 big parties, and whoever gets the most votes is not. We don't have one party that sits. We have several parties of whoever got the most votes come together and sort of form one big party. So no one can do any extreme changes. Everyone will get a little bit out of everything.
Yeah. And
So
America's also very big on government as well, in my opinion. I live in a little tiny town of Louisville called J-Town, and then we got a mayor vote there, and we got a city council there in J-Town. But then I got a Louisville city council, then I got a mayor of Louisville, and and then Hurstbourne Acres, they got a police force, and they take it's there's too much government, and there's too many little towns. They don't give it. Like the mayor of J-Town, it's like, what really power do they have? And so it's almost kind of comedy. And it's like, I'm the thing that I will say is this: it's like, I think every state over here needs a governor. Like I'm a Kentucky colonel, so the governor gave me that, and and the governor makes a bunch of decisions for Kentucky. And so I think having a government program is important for the citizen of Kentucky. But when you see all these like mayors, these little town, all this stuff, it's like, do we really need all this politics? Like, it's good to have leaders, but how far are we going with this?
Well, there's also, I think in Norway, it would be considered elder abuse if you had such an old prime minister as Biden,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
I don't think you can run for office if you're 80 years old.
No, and that's where we need to get rid of that in general. Biden's bad because of his age, and then you have Trump. He's getting up there in years, and people, the people that are running. I would love to see a leader that's 50 or under, right? Has the correct mindset, the education, the way to talk, and also has the confidence and kind of like the intimidation factor. Not this old man who is backed by all these little people, and so it just government and politics alone is just so messy, and at the end of the day, I just try to be a good person every day. I try to love my fellow man and woman, and I try to like represent my country the right way, and I try to, if I ever go international, I like to give a good impression of America. So like I had Germans come over and stay with me. I showed them a good time. If you come over, I'll show you a good time. You know, I'm gonna make sure you're safe and you have a great time. And I want you to always be like, hey, that was a great time in America with Eric. But I will say
We
this.
almost got shot a couple of times.
Yeah, I won't be able to be that I can't guarantee something crazy, but it's just at the end of the day, um, I want to always leave a positive mindset, but America, I guess you would say the culture sometimes makes that hard. But if I ever go international, that's why I'm like, hey, I'm Eric, really nice, and like want people to accept it because it's like that's the way it should be. Everybody should get along no matter where they're from or what they look like. And so it's just I feel like the one thing I will say I hate so much about politics in America is just how much the divide has really happened. So that's why I'm really big on being nice to other cultures and giving effort and having international episodes like this and doing things because people need to be exposed to that and open minded. The world's a big place and you can get so stuck and rabbit holed into this is it. This is my world I'm living in. But it's like there's a lot more out there.
Really interesting about Americans is their heritage. Most people are, either from Africa or European countries, and such a mixture. So you can meet someone who's, Italian, Dutch, and Irish at the same time. It's really interesting how you sort of have your own kind of race right now, and then you're American, but you're
Yeah.
from Europe and Africa and Asia and everything.
Yeah, and it's cool to see too. Like I always say, I grew up at the best time in America because, like in my school, there was people from so many places, and I was able to meet so many international. That's why I was able to go to Norway because of all the foreign exchange students, and I was just really blessed to go to schools to be able to meet people where I have relationships with people in Norway, Germany, Wales, Japan, because and everybody says this, and I'm very proud about this. And I don't, I will say it's facts. I'm really big on staying in touch. I make the effort. I make the effort of writing the letter, send the gifts, showing the love because I don't want people to forget. But also, it takes effort. You have to make effort to be a good friend or a good international friend. And so, that's what I always thank you for is because you give effort, I give effort back, and that's how these friendships and these relationships are built. And so I think if people really took advantage of that and not only saying like an international friendship, but over here in America, people really took the mindset of being open-minded to get to know someone from a different culture. Not only would they get to like eat different cool food or learn about cool stuff or try a cool drink or whatever, it's like you
Yeah.
just you gain a new friend, and it's like it's kind of cool to have a diverse friend. It's not fun hanging out with the same kind of type of people. It really
Yeah,
is.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I felt like you've had that friendship too, like Robin and stuff. He was from, Norway, but he was different. And I felt like you got to learn about his lifestyle too. So I thought, he's super cool. And you've met a lot of friends international that I felt
Sure.
like you've always been so open minded and accepting and learning. So that's what I always loved about our friendship is that's why I thought it was great about you being able to ask questions and stuff because you were always wanting to learn about that too. And I think that's where we got we kind of get along about. We try to learn stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important, I try to learn about your culture. I've never been to America. It's really interesting. I feel like America kind of feeds Europe in general and the rest of the world with entertainment for the most part. We all grow up watching films and all of the music, of course, which now all mainstream music is basically English, if either from England or from the US, and
Exactly.
uh, so sort of have this American culture is the kind of mainstream culture now, I would say.
Mm.
And but I don't know much about how it's like day to day in America.
I would say day to day is like this. I'd say probably from 9 to 6 is like sleep hours, of course. And then I'd say probably some people are getting up really early at 6 o'clock to start work, but work kind of starts about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then people are usually working 9 to 5 at like a basic job or regular job. You have some jobs that have 3 shifts where first, second, third shift, they'll work different hours, like jobs where they need to stay open the whole time. But people like to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, of course. Like breakfast will be some quick, like fast food. People might go somewhere, sit down, eat like a healthy thing. You have your healthy options like, your omelets and your little sandwiches and your veggies, your fruits. But then you have your fast food, sausage, biscuit, eggs, cheese, croissants, fried chicken, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people. Then you have your lunch where lunch is usually like turkey sandwiches, ham sandwiches, roast beef sandwiches, or people try to go get lunch like some chicken or DoorDash something or like Chinese food or those kind of basic things, fast food. And then dinner is usually your bigger entrees, food with 2 sides. So that's kind of like food wise how, and people will have snacks throughout the day. Like people might eat a snack in the afternoon or they'll eat some sweet at night. A lot of people eat sweets at night after dinner. It's a big thing in American culture. I'll just say, but I'll say too, like typical day by day is like, if you were off work, you might wake up, go get something to eat. You might go hit a couple shops, like little stores or something. Or you might go to the grocery, or you might go to the clothing store, or go to maybe you might go see a movie or do something like that. But then like at night, entertainment wise, a lot of people go to bars, clubs, strip clubs. People will go out and get drinks. They'll go and the people, we have tons of like, I don't know, I'd say museums and rides and attractions. People love the zoos over here. They love the theaters, plays. It's just kind of one of these things where a lot of people really try to enjoy their nightlife. I say during the week, you don't see a lot of people out as much. They're at home. But Fridays, Saturdays, everybody's out and about. Those are usually the crazy times. Sundays are real chill in the winter. Football is so big in America, so a lot of people are at home watching the games or playing fantasy, or they go to the bar. Even women, not just men, playing the football. So it's one of these things where America really lives for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are so important, and people try to take advantage at nights to have fun. But during the week, you might stay up late at home, but you're just not doing as much. But people are really big on the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'll say this: America really runs on coffee. Coffee is so huge. Local coffee shops, big coffee companies. Everyone always has to have their coffee or their caffeine. Not only is America ran on fast food and food like that, but caffeine is definitely a major thing over here.
Gotcha.
It is, because people they don't get their caffeine. They're a different person sometimes. You're like, hey, have you had your coffee yet today? You look like a psycho. So it gets kind of crazy with that regards. But people do ice hot coffee, hot coffee. Do
Hey, we
coffee.
got Starbucks over here now, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like Starbucks? Do you drink it?
I haven't gone yet, actually.
Okay,
But it's taken off. It's taken off.
if you go get a venti white chocolate mocha hot with no whipped cream, dude, you can't go
Man,
wrong.
I'm a black coffee guy, so
Oh, okay, okay,
kind of
yeah.
sounds too complicated for me, you know.
Yeah, the mocha, it's a little bit chocolatey. It's more of a sweet thing, but I got a sweet tooth, and America, we're such sweet tooth people. It's just, dude, chocolate's such a big part of my life, and so if I can get in my coffee, I like it too. Yeah,
Yeah, no, we're a black coffee and smoked fish kind of country.
yeah. You
Very
know
plain, very simple.
would you say what's your favorite Norwegian dish?
Uh, must be some kind of fresh fish, man. I'm a big lobster guy, oysters, crayfish,
Is
things like
seafood
that.
pretty inexpensive over there? I mean, is it getting pretty affordable?
I, well, I don't have anything to compare it to, but not too bad, not too bad at all, actually.
Because seafood over here is viewed as so expensive, not really in your coastal towns, but in your main areas because it has to be shipped in. But
Mm.
Louisville, with having the UPS hub here, like we're the number one hub for UPS, so shipping. So we have the big airport, the international airport, where all the UPS flights come out of.
You ship fish to.
Yeah, we'll ship it in. We'll ship seafood everywhere, but they'll ship it into Louisville and
I
we'll
have
ship
the.
it out
It's
24 hours.
dark out, but we have the ocean right there, so I can just walk down to the pier and get some lobster if I want to, and it's
Dude, ship
probably
them over, bro. Ship me some
20.
lobster, dude. It'll be
I'll
quick.
send
I'll
it
get
to
it from
the
UPS hub.
UPS.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, the UPS hub, dude, they get tons of seafood. So Louisville seafood's very fresh. That's why I'm happy to eat it. You always hear jokes, oh, it's coming from the Ohio River. No, like UPS actually ships it in. And so you're like, I'm not gonna be eating out of the Ohio. But UPS, when they ship it in fresh, you're like, fuck yeah, this is the best. So you get the ocean seafood. But I'm a big seafood person. It's some of my favorite food. I'm a big shrimp guy. I love shrimp.
What's
Yeah.
the population in Louisville?
Louisville, I think it's I could be wrong. I think 2 million. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe like maybe 2.3 million, and it could be growing. I might be off. It might be more now, actually. Let me double check. But yeah, because we're actually like a top 30 biggest city.
Really?
Um, and and to hear that many people, Louisville population, actually, maybe I was off. Oh, I'm thinking Kentucky. Louisville population is 630,000.
Okay.
Kentucky population, that's where I was about to say, is 4 million. So it was 2 million a couple years back. So it's grown. So 4.5 million now. So I apologize if I missed that. That's why I looked it up. But yeah, it's 630,000 Louisville, but Kentucky, we've gone from 2 million to 4, and we keep growing, and it's a steady increase. So it's a lot of people here.
Yeah, that's the entire country of Norway, man.
Yeah, that's what's insane, dude. And like Kentucky's such a small state compared to others. California and Texas, they're like their own two countries alone. I mean, if you look it up right now, California population, it's man, let's see. California population right now, 39.24 million. I mean, dude, that's like a medium country population.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
large.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, so and its scale just keeps growing. I mean, then you look at like New York, 8.468 million. That's just with New York City being a part of it. But then Texas, 29.53 million. So California definitely the most populated. But
Yeah.
in these cities, it's a lot of people, and then it just keeps growing. I knew I was close to the 2 million range, but I knew it was for the state. But yeah, to think 630 in this city is pretty realistic. But 4 million has a lot of people in Kentucky. Whew.
You plan on staying in Kentucky or wanna go somewhere else?
I'm not sure. I will be honest. I really like this girl I'm dating, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds. And if we stayed in Kentucky, be fine from regards of I know it, but I do want to explore more. I could see moving to another place one time. I'm open to it. I'm open to moving to another country one day. So I'm kind of in this place in my life where I want to see what life takes me. I don't have anything set in mind. I mean, I definitely have thought about it. I've definitely had that dream at one time to move to another country or do something like that. But I have got to experience a lot, and I know even living in Kentucky, I can still experience a lot by traveling and leaving. I'm not locked here, but it's just kind of what's in store and what her and I maybe want, or what, if it what just life throws at me. It's just I I will definitely say I'm very open minded with just life in general. So I'm excited to just kind of see what's in store right now. I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive, and I like how life's going. And and I'm hoping to really continue the future. It's a bright future. And so I but I'm definitely wanting to come back to visit. I want to definitely travel back over and see you and see the country again and see everybody. But I love to have you here and to show you things. And I think I think the future's bright for all of us. I really do. I really do.
It's a good answer, man. But it's great, man. I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, man, and I'm glad you're doing well, and I'm so happy to connect with you, and I'm glad we get to stay in touch, and we've built this brotherhood and friendship, and this was awesome too, because to do a two-parter for people to tune in to learn about Norway, to learn about you, and to hear somebody from an international and their mindset and their views, it was just fun, and it's fun to be able to learn more about you, man, and to answer stuff for you as well. And I'm really excited to I'm really just excited to hopefully see what the world's future is. I know there's a lot of dark times right now and a lot of dark shit going on. You got your Russia, Ukraine, so you got all your stuff internationally, but it's I'm really hoping that the world can get their shit together and we can just get some
Yeah.
peace one day. That's the main goal. So, but I'm glad that I think there's still people out there that want that as well too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But Remi, I want to thank you so much. This has been an incredible time. I'm excited to get these podcasts up because, people are going to be like, wow, an international guest. You're my second international guest ever. So this is so cool. And it's so cool to be coming from Bergen, Norway. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your journey. And I'm excited to see you again, man, in person. And, I know we'll be staying in touch and we'll be definitely talking during the holidays. So, Remi, tell them again how to reach out on, you said Instagram, correct?
Yeah, but no one can spell my name. It's with letters you don't have in the English alphabet. So
Yeah, yeah. So if you can't find it, I can try to help you. Yeah, and I can get in touch with Remi anytime. So Remi Melbraten from Norway, and it was just a huge honor again. And everybody can reach out to me, Vibing with Sleezy at gmail.com, Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram, show love, send messages, send requests. This is season 3. Got about 6 more episodes to go, so I'm going to try to do 3 more two-parters to kind of wrap up and complete season 3 for 2022, and then bring back season 4 in the spring of 2023. So Bible Season, the podcast has been going amazing. I want to thank everybody for listening, supporting, downloading, and I can't thank you all enough. And thank you again, Remi, for your time. I know the time difference and you staying up late. I appreciate
it's 2 o'clock in the morning, man.
Hey, to the man, brother. I appreciate you. All love, and I will talk to you soon. And everybody, peace.